Welcome back, guys, to episode 3 of the devlog series. So this time around I changed things up a little bit. So now in the beginning I'm just going to talk about some important things like this, what I'm talking about right now, and after that we are going to do lots of little video sequences that I recorded throughout the week. Last week it was actually a total of 32 videos that I recorded, or video clips. And I already edited them all together, and now, you will be able to watch them now after I'm done here with this part. And after that, we are just going to talk about some stuff that I want to do next week, and maybe like some other things, maybe like answering some questions or comments or whatever, depending on what questions you might have. If you have further suggestions, then obviously always drop them in the comments down below. But without further ado, let's just get into what I've been doing the past week. Alright, so now it's currently Sunday at 2:30 in the afternoon. Yesterday and Saturday I did get a little bit of work done, not too much because I had a little bit of a headache and stuff like that. But yesterday I managed to kind of finish up the performance logging function, or part rather. So for now I'm collecting 3 different performance metrics. So this is the total amount of memory used by node, the free system memory, so this is like the total, what's like freely available, and the system memory usage in percent, so this is like what all processors use, and then kind of what's like free in percent value, because having it in megabytes only doesn't really always paint the entire picture, you know. And that's essentially it for all of that right now. So now the graph library is pretty basic. For now it's just some testing stuff I set up. I still don't really completely understand everything what I did here. But I'm using the GIMP library essentially to create images on my own. There probably would be like a graphing library that would be able to do all of that, but I want to kind of build everything my own as far as I can. But I'm definitely not going to look into creating like images on my own, so I'm just going to take this library which is doing a whole lot of stuff. Now I can also just show you how that works. Not really, sadly, because this does not really work. I mean, this is an image that is created, obviously not a graph or anything, but that's like, I just want to figure out how to like make and send images first, right? But now it's like I got it to work once, but it's still kind of broken. I don't know, it's a little weird. I'll have to figure something out, and that's what I'm going to do now for more or less the rest of the Sunday, probably. Okay, so now I played a little bit more around here with all of that crap, and I figured out that I don't even have to delete the file, and now everything kind of seems to work, apparently. So let's take a quick look here at how this all looks like, and if I type in my command, it will give me that image right here. The bot is running 2 times, by the way, once on the server and once locally for me, so I always get like 2 replies. And the other one obviously doesn't know the command yet. So alright, I now spent a couple hours to try and get the image library here, GIMP, to work, and I'm now, I think, at a pretty good point where I can finally stop doing something for the day and go over to more recreational stuff. But that's where I am right now. Let's zoom a little bit in. Alright, and we can type just again admin performance, and it will create us a nice image right here. So far I have done all the stuff that includes the text. So this is the test title up there, which we can obviously define. This is like the legend for that side, and then for Y and the x-axis. Looks like that's like pretty basic. You can do that in Paint in like a minute, probably, even if you haven't ever used Paint before. But it was a real pain to do with this library here. but still probably better than writing my own library. So yeah, so one interesting thing is this doesn't really take real fonts. So this just takes like these pixelated fonts, rasterized, I don't know. So you could give it like a special .fnt file. So try finding a font with that. Sure, there are like some converters probably out there, but I tried searching and searching, and at least I couldn't find any online tool to do that. And so I tried around like a half an hour to get such a stupid font file, and then I realized and read a little bit further through the documentation that there's actually a font included. So yeah, the interesting part about this like style of font is that the font is essentially compiled for like one color and for one size especially. So this is kind of interesting. Yeah, it was really fun to work out for sure. So yeah, this is an actual mock-up that I drew on my iPad. And yeah, here you can essentially see how this all should look like. So we have the title, the legend, Y, X. And the next thing I have to do is essentially draw these two lines, and then I have to somehow bring the scale on there as well. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that, and the scale resolution, everything. Oh yeah, nice. I wrote the scale res in here, but not into here, meaning I probably don't have that. No, I don't. Dang. Let's add that real quick. Scale res x, because having just a scale doesn't really help you a whole lot, I think. You also want to know how far everything is spaced. Okay, so we have to include that in the call here, obviously, as well. I think that is the scale. Now we can bring in, let's say 100 for both. Yeah. And then, comma. Okay. Great. Just fix that. Great. Yeah, so that's the next part. Getting like this, then the scale. And then drawing the actual data line is going to be pretty interesting for sure. But yeah, not today. Today is my watch later playlist is pretty long again already, so that's a job for tomorrow, I think. And until then, see you all then. Alright guys, so now it's Monday and I started working on the tool that will be able to draw the lines. So the library I'm using doesn't support drawing lines itself, but you can write raw pixel data. So I wrote a helper function to draw straight lines like this, and I also now implemented a thing to draw these two lines here. Then obviously I also have to draw like all the other lines here as well for like the scale and everything. Yeah, so now I haven't tested it, so let's just test that out if it works or not. That didn't work, but yeah, I have to try twice probably, and that still didn't work. Did it crash? Yeah, I'm also stupid. I haven't restarted the app, so yeah, oof. Yeah, maybe that works because I need like a two-dimensional array. Looks a lot better already. Okay, now the big question obviously just is if that also works. Where's my Discord? Here's my Discord. Let's just copy that again. That was paste copy. Okay. And now we should have some lines. Well, that are no lines for sure. I'm getting some arrows here, but that's just normal arrow stuff, I think. Let's just see if this is updated, but I don't think so. Yeah, nope. Back to the drawing board. Okay, so now I changed a couple things here of how I'm constructing my two-dimensional array. Let's just hope that this works and that it's the issue, or else I'm just going to have some more troubleshooting, I guess. First one doesn't work, and second one... Hey, I mean, we have lines. They are white and not black. Dang. But we have a line actually even with looks like the thickness I specified, so that seemed to kind of work. I can work off of that for sure. Let's zoom in here a little bit. These should be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That actually worked. Yeah. They aren't really at the correct position or anything, but yeah, I think that's all stuff that I can figure out now. Alright, now look at this beauty. Oh yeah. There's a little bit of green down there, which I don't really understand. But yeah, now it's just a matter of also drawing in kind of the scale stuff. And yeah, the draw lines things are definitely kind of working. Okay, so now I did build a little bit of extra code to draw all the X lines basically. Let's see if that worked. That obviously doesn't. And now we have, well, that's not a whole lot. Okay, I did a stupid little mistake. Now I fixed that mistake. And now it works for sure. Oh yeah. Is this gray? This is supposed to be gray, but hey, whatever. It is working a little bit. We can see lines here at every 100 pixels, so that's fine, right? The other stuff is also interesting, but that works. But why isn't that gray? Well, turns out that I'm actually not insane and that the color that I used actually works, and that's actually like the hex number that I dialed in. But apparently 080808 is extremely dark gray and not really what I hoped it would turn out to be, so I want something more like this. Maybe like 696969 is a better color. Yeah, almost perfect. Just that there's still a bit of a line there, and we could also ditch this line up there. So that's both of the first lines that we draw basically. So yeah, this should be a pretty quick fix. This is the code where we draw the scale lines. So this is the part where we actually draw the line, and this is essentially just finding out where we draw the line. And we start at 100 pixels, and we're just going to take 100 pixels and then essentially plus the scale. So this is for the x-axis, so we're using the scale resolution for the x-axis, and then we're going to do the same down here with the y-axis. Alright, so we basically just ditch the first one, and because we are incrementing the pixels always by the scale, and so we're essentially just doing one of the increments before we actually do anything. So now if we fire this up again, this is still the old version and this is the new one that is now kind of fixed. So we're still drawing a little bit here into the outlines. We could do an even easier fix for that actually and just change it around how we draw that. So we could draw the vertical lines after we do the scale lines basically. I want one less. Okay, great. So let's restart you again. Let's go in here again. This is the wrong thing. And then first try, second try. And there we go. This already looks a lot nicer. So now I can just test to play a little bit around with that and see if this completely works with some other values as well. And then we can do some other things that we still have to do. Now look at this, isn't that beautiful? Oh yeah. So now you have some times here as well, or some like min and max values, so we actually kind of know what the scale is supposed to be. So now the only thing really that's left is to draw the actual data in there and to remove this bit of green down there that you probably can't see. So this is our image in Photoshop now. And now just so you can see what I mean, let's look down here, and down here we have a teeny tiny bit of green that then just fades away. I would guess that's 255 pixels if I find my measuring tool. Oh boy, I'm so bad with Photoshop. Here we have our ruler, and that is, yeah, about 255 pixels long, and just fades away like that. I have no idea where this comes from. We have none other weird colorations in all the other edges, so that's definitely going to be a pretty interesting bug to find. Alright, I figured it out. It's gone now. I mean, it's very difficult to see because it's just like one pixel. At least it was a great lesson in debugging and a great lesson in deleting or at least commenting out code you don't need anymore, because I still had the code in there that was drawing this thing. I have no idea really how this translates into then being like just the lowest line pretty much then down there. And I also really want to know it. The important part is that it's gone now. It looks absolutely great. We are now at a fairly good spot to just start drawing the actual line in. But I'm going to build that tomorrow, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's not beautiful, obviously, but with the limited tools that I have and my limited knowledge, I think that's fairly decent, and the looks can always be improved in the future as long as the base is alright, you know. Alright, so now we're here on Tuesday, and I did already quite a bit of like reworking here. So before that I had all these separate values in like one long thing, and when I want to call this thing, then it was also just graph create, and then all these values are just chained behind each other. So now I'm actually doing a proper object that I'm passing over so I can make everything look a little bit nicer. And I'm also just checking all the inputs here a little bit and sanitizing them to see if this is all kind of correct. And then I wrote a bunch of code here to draw the actual data. Yeah, the data, exactly. I also had to write another little function here to just kind of calculate the exact pixel position out of a value that I give in. I'm not really sure if this works that way. This seems so simple. I don't think this is that simple, to be honest. But we'll have to see. Okay, so let's actually just draw a graph here. So this one is again the old one, and this one is now the new one, and we have absolutely nothing else drawn on here. Okay, I would have hoped for at least something, to be honest, but well, I guess back to the drawing board. Yeah, now I realize that I was a little bit stupid. So this for loop here, that is actually drawing stuff. We have var x, but we aren't really given it any value. So let's do that real quick. We want to start at 100. That's 0. Okay. Now let's restart the app, and let's just jump back into here. Copy that, put that in here. That's again the old one, and now the new one. Also looks pretty empty. Okay, maybe we have some logging in here because I'm trying to log something out here, but there is nothing common there. Well. Okay, well, I was stupid again, because we start now at 100, and now we're looping through here until x, or yeah, we're looping through here until this isn't true anymore. So x, until x is basically larger than the length of data. And the length of data is, if we look in here, this is data. This is definitely not 100 long. So yeah, so we are essentially never going through the loop. So let's take this out. Let's take this, keep this in here. But yeah, we wanna offset x here by 100. Data at point x, yeah, we want to keep that x. Otherwise, we're going to go out of the array. Alright, so now third try. Third try is the charm, obviously, as always. Does that look like something? No, not really. Oh well, we do have something up there. That's nice. Let's take a quick look here in Photoshop. Adobe Photoshop. Alright, so obviously this is really small because we don't have that much data. This is also a little bit weird where we are. But yeah, that's our graph now, basically. Yeah, as I already basically predicted, the algorithm that I used there was kinda stupid. Doesn't really work probably. But yeah, that's now an easy fix, hopefully. Yeah, so now I played a little bit around, and now the line starts in the right place, and we are, I think, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 long as well, which is the correct length, I think. And we're not doing any weird stuff up there anymore. We're now all nicely down there. I mean, these values obviously are still kind of wrong, but that's now the easiest fix, right? Well, now this looks like something, doesn't it? So this down here would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we go from 1 to 6, then down to 0, 2, 4, and 5. And if we look in the values, yeah, 1, 2, 6, 5, 2, then like 0 back, 2, 4, and 5. And if I, let's say, half the scale to 50, then this should be reflected. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can't really see that, but let's go into here. Yep, please reload. And yeah, now this looks pretty sweet. Now this is both 0, this is both 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And yeah, that seems like that's kind of working. I mean, the line is still a little thin, right? If you zoom out a little bit, that is not really that recognizable, but yeah, that's stuff that we can now work on, making it beautiful, you know. And I also think that the scale isn't still quite correct, or is it? I mean, yeah, this would 50 times fit on top of each other, theoretically. No. I mean, this is 6, and the highest value is 50, so this would be not even 10. Yes, this still doesn't seem quite right, but we're getting there at least. So this does look pretty promising now. We start out here with a value for essentially 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and that's 110%. You do notice that we're still a little bit too high here, but that's 4 pixels, which is the 4 pixels that we are adding down here, so we are not crashing into the outline, essentially. If we take that away again and just call that again, we will be able to see that this should be better now. Yeah, reloaded, thank you. Let's look in here now. Yep, that was the wrong thing that I reset, dang. That, and that looks perfectly in line at first sight. except we're starting at 10% up there, then 20, 30, blah, 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 yada, 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 until we are up here where we are on exactly the same height. And then the other 10% obviously overshooting there a little bit. Alright, now I think it's time to feed in some real data here. Alright, so now I'm pulling the data from the database. Let's see if this actually works. I'm not really sure. I think one thing that I did is not really working as that. Sorry, can't find that parameter. What? Well, there we are. This took a little while. It didn't seem like that really worked. So let's do one thing a little bit differently. I already so now we're not going to take data here. We are going to take temp data, and we are going to uncomment all of this that I already wrote. And let's try this out. Why does it say that first? Well, I don't know, but dang, that definitely looks like a graph to me. Oh boy, let's take a closer look here. Oh nice, yeah, that is definitely graphy. And 1 pixel for each entry basically. So let's take a look. We have 583 entries here. Yeah, I mean this is almost 2000 pixels wide, so a quarter of that is makes sense. I mean, yeah, we also have to kind of scale it on the time axis as well. Ooh, that's gonna be a bit of a problem, but yeah, that could make actually little sense here actually. We can actually even look at the latest result, which is, I don't know, I mean these are 10% increments, so we should be at, I don't know, 27% or whatever. Alright, so we are at 28%, yeah, 28%. That could be 28-ish%, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, but that's already kind of the right direction at least, you know. Yeah. Now it's just time to make it a little bit more beautiful, and then we can also worry about like the scaling on the time axis a little bit later as well. Alright, I think that is enough for today. Let's look at this beauty. Oh yeah. So now it's a little bit thicker than it was before, as you can see, so this is a little bit clearer to see. So now we just have to stretch it obviously over the entire room that we have here basically. And we also have to maybe do some busier stuff, so it's like not as harsh and kind of like one ongoing line basically. Yeah, but for now I think this is fine. Welcome back guys on this wonderful Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday, right? Yeah, it is definitely Wednesday today. Yeah, so I already spent quite a bit of time refining the graph, and you can see that right here. Looks absolutely beautiful, as you can see. I mean, yeah, now it's actually kind of fast sometimes not really, but yeah. Let's take a bit of a closer look what I did here. Yeah, reloaded, thanks. So first of all, I made the graph a little bit thicker, so it's a little easier to read. And yeah, I'm also built in some scaling now, so it's like also scales over the entire like time graph duration kind of thing, you know. Yeah, this is all still not really that accurate on like each of the time frames. If I were to say, hey, I want from there to there, then yeah, the issue is essentially you have to kind of make it pixel perfect, right? You can't like write a pixel at like half a pixel something. And so theoretically the amount of data points and the amount of pixels you have to work with somehow has to kind of line up. And yeah, I mean, sure, you can like times 2, times 3, times 4, or divide it by something like 2 or something to get to like a perfect pixel perfect like grid sometimes, but that's pretty rare. So what I did now is I'm doing it now a little bit graciously, so we have a little bit too many pixels, and then I'm just cutting random pixels out of the array. It's not beautiful, but it works, and it doesn't need to be super accurate, so I think this is fine for now. Yeah, I mean, one thing that I learned doing like this entire graph stuff like that is that this is not easy to do, and either I have to look more into doing it, or I have to just take like an external library to do that, but we'll have to see. But I think for now it's fine. So as you can also see, I added in some smoothing, which is just smoothing things out a little bit, not too much. Yeah, so essentially how the smoothing now works is that I'm looking at my current pixel, and then I'm looking what the next pixel would be, and I'm taking the average of both of these. So yeah, here for example, drawing this pixel, this would probably have been a pixel that should be here, but now I'm taking this here plus this here, dividing it by 2, and then we get something that's in the middle right here. Yeah, really easy way to smooth it out a little bit. Maybe I'm going to do the smoothing a little bit more aggressive, so we take maybe more pixels into consideration. Yeah, this is going to be not great for processing time, obviously, but yeah, it's just how it is. Yeah. Okay, so now I actually added a little bit more smoothing still, because I wasn't quite perfectly happy with it. Now it's looking pretty decent, I think. So now I'm taking 4 pixels into consideration. That's the previous pixel, the current pixel, and then the next 2 pixels. And then I'm dividing that all by 4, obviously, to get the average. And still areas like this where this just doesn't really line up that nicely, but others like here where it just kind of works. Yeah, I mean, the way I'm doing the thickness is also not really that great, obviously, because this is pretty thick, but this is pretty thin if you would measure it like that. So yeah. Yeah, kind of difficult, but I think this is a good enough kind of result. So now what I also want to do is I want to print like the values up here on the y-axis. And kind of say, hey, this is 0, this is 10, this is whatever, and then also do that kind of dynamically. So depending on how like the scale is, that is also adjusts itself. And yeah, I still have a little bit of time to go today, but yeah, we'll see. Alright, this is it now. I think I'm pretty much done here now with the graph itself, actually, which is pretty exciting. Yeah, as I said, it's not perfect. Like the scaling on the time axis, stuff like that is not 100% ideal, let's put it that way. Yes, now I also added another line up there and back here, so it's a little bit nicer. And then these values here as well, which was a bit of a pain in the butt to make. But now it's done. So now the next step that I'm going to do tomorrow, probably, yeah, is that I have to generate all the graphs that I want to generate. And do that in Discord bot and try and figure out all the little issues there. For example, that I have to send the command twice to get an up-to-date picture and stuff like that. So it's Thursday now, and I already did quite a bit of work, as you can see. If I send the command, I get the image back, and no other weird errors, no having it to send like twice, whatever. It just works. And I'm also not storing it on a file system anymore. I'm just directly putting it in memory and then uploading it essentially from memory, which is obviously a lot cleaner, a lot easier, a lot better overall. Yeah, now I also built in the logic that this should now actually generate the graphs that I want to generate of the data that we have stored. But I haven't tested it yet, and that's now going to be the test. Oh. Yeah. This crashed a little bit. Where? 57. We can find that line. Something not defined. What am I doing there? You are obviously entry. Yeah, so second try. That was not Discord, that is Discord. So oh, there are some images. Oh boy. Oh wow. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These are all the images. Okay, great. Node memory max. Oh. Yeah, this isn't really that nicely rounded. This definitely has to be rounded for sure. And it looks fine at some points, but then it... Yeah, I guess that's like maximum memory, that node. Why is this percent? Oh, this is all percent everywhere. This is not supposed to happen. System memory usage average. Yeah, this is looking fine, but that is not looking good. Okay. Oh, I think I know what the issue is for that all, because I'm always taking the highest number for that. Yeah, I didn't adjust the scale appropriately, I think. Alright, let's take another look. Everything should kind of be fixed now. Yeah, for the unit thing, I just like assigned the wrong value, the value that I don't even read out. So this was a quick fix. And the other thing, I'm taking a new high thing. Yeah, this is not coming in the right order as well, but who cares? So we have node. Oh yeah, I forgot to round that probably. Yeah. And I even want to add some more graphs. I'm a little, I don't know, stupid, maybe. Yeah, I mean, this also doesn't take too long to draw, I think. Yeah, now we are rounded here off as well, so that's pretty beautiful. Max, this is definitely a little bit off. I'll have to look into this graph a little bit and see where data is coming from. Maybe we're just doing something weird with the data collection. Let's take a look, I guess. I think I found the mistake here. So, yeah, here I'm essentially just writing the array that I'm then handing over to the graph library. Like the array of values, obviously dependent on which type of graph you're currently trying to draw here. So for example, if we look at memnode average, then we're obviously going to take all the data from memnode average. Memnode max gets all data from memnode max, and so on and so forth. So I did copy all of this down, obviously, because it's a little bit quicker, but I apparently forgot to copy something here. So for the case mem usage max, which is a little off, we're actually writing the data for memnode average, which definitely makes sense with the type of data that we have seen. So if we just copy that over now and start our app up again, we should be able to now see the correct graph for that if we let this draw again. Come on, give me the graphs, please. Okay, system free, blah blah blah. A new one. System memory usage max, exactly, that's the one that we're looking for. And this is now a graph that looks a lot more believable for sure, around like the 30% mark. Yeah, and also fairly similar. Yeah, both of these obviously. So that is definitely looking pretty fine, I would say. Alright, now if I edit everything correctly, it should work on the server as well. Come on, give me some graphs that are probably very empty because it just started logging. Oh, there we go. Yep, we probably haven't even saved one single log entry yet to the database. So that's very negative infinity megabytes. Yeah, we are dividing by 0 probably, so that makes sense. It's a little bit slower than on my PC for obvious reasons, but yeah, it's fine, honestly. Oh yeah, there came the last in. A little late, but yeah, now I have to keep this running here a little bit, and then I'll have to see if this is actually broken and doesn't save anything, or if this is working. And yeah, let's see. Now we should see the first. Yeah, there we are. One entry is in there now. It's very liney, obviously. Yeah, system load is still looking not quite correct here at absolutely 0. Okay, just checked. System load actually is 0, so there's actually a little thing in there, so it's not wrong per se. And everything else also looks like makes a little bit of sense. Yeah, pretty cool. So as you can see, I managed to do quite a little bit of stuff last week. And next week is not going to be as busy, because next week I plan to do some easier things about the admin command. I actually already have the file open for that. So currently 155 lines. This is definitely going to grow by quite a bit. So right now, as you can see, we only have the argument performance built in, so we can only, or the admin command is only good for watching or looking at the performance graphs. I also want to add some more things. I want to be able to look at logs in through this command. Also like some bulk deletion of messages, for example, stuff like that I want to just build into the admin command. Yeah, just kind of like things that you would kind of need as an admin. Yeah, I don't want to add them all as like separate commands, because this is just going to overcomplicate things, and then if you're just writing help, you will be able to see tons of commands that you're not actually able to use. I mean, I could program that in that this wouldn't happen, I guess, but yeah, it's, I think, a little bit cleaner also just not having 1,000 files appear in my commands folder for every little admin thing. That is only yeah, for me, basically. I also obviously have to build in a way that the admin commands are only executing if they're sent by an actual admin and not by everybody, for obvious reasons, I think. And yeah, that's kind of the plan for next week. It's not as much stuff to do, so I'm probably going to be done with that, maybe actually already on the weekend now, but we'll see about that. Yeah, but I also want to start with like the How the Internet Works video series next week, and I want to actually make the first video next week and upload it hopefully next week. I also have to make a channel update video for tomorrow still, so yeah, I'm going to record the time lapse pretty much now, while this video right here is rendering probably. So yeah, I think that's actually already everything about the video this week. So tell me what you think, and see you all next week. Have a great time. See you all then. Bye bye.